Hey, what's up everybody, and welcome to Lancelot's Nerd Corner. I'm Lancelot, and welcome to the very first episode of what I hope to be a new series called Off the Cuff. My reviews are quite structured and organized because it's the best way that I find I can deliver the most amount of information about a figure in the most concise time possible, but it takes a lot of time and effort for me to make a review. So I wanted a new avenue, a new series in which I could speak about other figures in my collection a little bit less prepared, a little more off the cuff, if you will, and give love to those figures that I probably don't want to spend all that time and effort in making a whole review for. I also want to use this series as a way to sort of follow up on some figures that I've reviewed that maybe after spending more time with the figure post-review, my mind changed on some aspects, or I want to give more context about my compliments or critiques that I didn't find was completely relevant to the review. And so the first figure that we're going to talk about off the cuff is Tommy Shelby by Big Chief Studios, which I already reviewed, and I suggest you go watch that review if you haven't already before coming to this one, because you'll need that context. Because this is, as I said, a bit of a follow-up to clarify some of my points that I made in the review and also some things that kind of changed my mind. But first off, I do want to provide some context that I love Peaky Blinders. I love this show. It is my favorite show of all time so far. And Tommy Shelby is probably my favorite character from anything, any film or television show. And it's why I was quite critical of this guy, because I was expecting a lot. Actually, this figure was my most anticipated figure of this year. Well, technically, my most anticipated figure of last year, because that's when it was supposed to come out, but it got delayed twice. Seems like Hot Toys isn't the only company that's suffering from the problems of delaying and then kind of under-delivering. At least from my opinion, under-delivering. But yeah, I do love the show so much. I actually just recently rewatched season 1 because I was showing it to my cousin, and my god, there's just something so magical about that first season. I love it so much. And so again, it's why I was so critical, and maybe I was a bit too harsh, but again, it's only because I love Peaky Blinders so much and Tommy Shelby, so I was expecting a lot, and you could say that was, my fault for expecting so much, but is it really so wrong to expect the best out of something that you want to be the best? There are some things that I do want to kind of clarify post-review that I did notice. This figure has a very unique a problem, I guess. It's sort of a problem, but not really. This head sculpt looks way better on camera than it does in hand, which is strange because usually the opposite is true, right? Usually a figure looks better in hand, a head sculpt looks better in hand than on camera. That's not the case with this figure. Fucking hell. Like in person, when I look at this, the paint app is really soft and the likeness just really isn't there. But when I was filming the review and I was taking the shots of it, I was like, wow, this head sculpt is really good. And so it was one of the reasons why I couched my initial sort of harsh criticisms of the head sculpt, because I was like, okay, wait a minute, this head sculpt actually does look good, but then I realized it only looks good on camera, or rather, it tends to look better on camera than in person, especially from certain angles. I found out from a high angle shot, the head sculpt looks really good, especially with the cap tilted forward and hiding his face. But like I said in the review, that's kind of because the cap covers some of the flaws of the head sculpt. Yeah, that's just something I wanted to point out because it's an incredibly unique issue, I guess, feature, let's just say, of this figure that I haven't ever encountered in any other figure. I also do want to re-emphasize that although the tailoring isn't the best, it is quite clear that Big Chief Studios chose practicality of taking off, the layers, the overcoat, the suit jacket, rather than just crisply and tightly tailoring the fabrics to the body. I think I would have preferred a really tightly tailored outfit and sort of traded off that practicality aspect of being able to remove the layers. But at the end of the day, that's not what happened. Big Chief Studios went for the practicality over the supreme tailoring, and I'm not mad about that. I found a way to appreciate how awesome it is to get this figure in different stages of dress of his outfit. Just having the dress shirt and the waistcoat looks really good, having the suit jacket looks really good, and then having the full outfit looks really good as well. Even if the tailoring is a bit puffy, there's quite a lot of air pockets where the fabrics don't sit flush on the body. That is sort of just the trade-off that you have to consider. I do think though that maybe having wires down the sides of the coat and the suit jacket, and having really strong wires that you can sort of push down and it'll stay tight to the body. One of the figures that I used as a comparison in the review was the Suicide Squad Tuxedo Joker, and that figure has these really strong wires down the side of the tuxedo jacket, and it helps to keep the fabric, pasted onto the body. But like I said in the review, you also, like me personally, I would not want to ever remove the suit jacket from the Tuxedo Joker. There just really isn't any point to it. And so I think that's a situation in which Hot Toys recognized nobody's gonna want to take off the jacket, so we might as well tailor this as tightly as possible. Honestly, in terms of screen accuracy, I don't really have anything to complain about with this figure. I do wish they could have done it better, but at the end of the day, I'm also not angry. I'm not mad at it at all. I still do love it, and I appreciate what Big Chief Studios have given us with this figure. Obviously, the tailoring, like I said, isn't the best, but I mean, that's just the realities of making a full 3-piece suit with an overcoat, but only 12 inches. That's just the realities of, the sort of the obstacles and the challenges that they were gonna face. And that's just it. I think that's just the reality that us collectors have to live with at some point, that a figure might not be exactly what we wanted, it might not be what we expected, but if you do love the character, and if you do love the IP or whatever, I do think you will find a way to appreciate what you're given. I still do love this figure. I don't hate it in any way. Even if I was being a bit critical, it's only because I want Big Chief Studios to improve next time around. And I also just have to appreciate that they even took a crack at making a Tommy Shelby figure, because the only other options were like these ugly third parties. And so here's a licensed company actually taking an IP that I don't think any company in this 6-scale space would have ever made. And so I just have to appreciate that. The simple fact that Big Chief Studios went and even made a Tommy Shelby. They also made an Arthur Shelby, but I won't be picking that up because, well, I can't really see myself justifying that purchase anymore with the way the quality turned out. But yeah, that's it. Just grateful that they even made the figure. And even though it wasn't the best, I still do love it, and there are a lot of things that I appreciate about it. And that's pretty much it for the video, guys. I want to know what you guys think of this figure down in the comments below, especially if you picked it up. Do you love it? Do you hate it? Either way, thank you so much for watching. You can follow me on Instagram at Lancelot's Nerd Corner. I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.